Hello everyone! Vol'jin has been part of the Horde for a very long time, and at the end of Mr. Pandaria, he was granted the title of Warchief, the first non-orc in history. But what road led him to this destiny, and what might the future hold for this Shadow Hunter? That's what we're going to talk about today, so let's begin, shall we? We don't know much about Vol'jin's youth. He grew up as one of the Darkspear trolls within the Darkspear Tribe upon the Darkspear Islands. His best friend was Khayllysl, and together they would go fishing, wrestling, building mud forts, claim their first kill together. Khayllysl was the one who Vol'jin trusted with his fears and triumphs. The time that he cried over the dead pet when he was a small child, or the day that he'd beaten an older bully senseless, Khayllysl had been there for all of it. His father Sen'jin was a powerful witch doctor and the spiritual leader of their people. One day, Sen'jin looked into the flames and he received a vision. Change was coming to the Darkspear Tribe and Vol'jin had to get ready. For this, his father told him to travel to the part of the island called First Home. This was the place where nobody went besides shadow hunters and fools, and Vol'jin, at this time, was no shadow hunter. He convinced his best friend Khayllysl to join him on his quest, and together they faced the challenges given to them by the Loa, ancient spirits of those who had transcended death and could grant wondrous boons or inflict terrible punishments. During their time within First Home, Vol'jin received visions of the future. He saw himself team up with Orc and Tauren, clasp hands with Warchief Thrall, and join the Horde. He saw himself fighting with his best friend Khayllysl, who believed that Vol'jin was not the right troll to lead their people. He saw Garrosh fight Cairn in the arena and take the Horde down a dishonorable path, one that the Darkspear could not follow. All these visions and more were granted to the troll, yet they did not come easy. The Loa tested him with many trials. One of them caused Vol'jin to endure great pain, worse than the pain of a broken bone or stab wounds. Thicker and deeper than any pain Vol'jin had ever felt, it flooded his mind, making thoughts impossible. In that pain, the Loa whispered to him about the cliff nearby. The rocks down below would bring an end to the pain. It would be quick and easy, and Vol'jin realized that it was true. He could jump and end the pain instantly, or the other option was to endure the pain. So Vol'jin closed his eyes and he endured, earning the skill to see the Loa. The second trial showed Vol'jin two roads in front of him. One road led to him living the easy life, healthy and happy, with the finest jungle brew all around him and troll females dancing for his pleasure. A small golden chain stretched from one ankle to the leg of the throne. Now the other road, it led to him wounded and bleeding, surrounded by enemies and constantly fighting, always struggling. Sometimes he led the other Darkspear trolls, sometimes he fought alone, and Vol'jin laughed at the test as if the choice was difficult. He would always choose freedom, he would fight, he would strive, and perhaps never find happiness, but in the end, he would have his freedom. The Loa answered him and told him that the choice itself was not the test, but if he had hesitated even for a moment, he would have failed. Passing this test earned him the ability to hear the Loa, hear them, yet learning how to listen, that would come with time and experience. The final trial had Vol'jin fighting with something that looked like his father. He was confused, he didn't understand why his father was striking out at him, and in their battle, Vol'jin's hand was shattered as the spirit simply ran away. The hand would heal in time, but the thumb would always be misshapen. He would never again throw a knife with that hand, hold a glaive, hunt or signal the attack, but there was a way to fix it. All trolls were blessed by the Loa with some form of regeneration. They could regrow fingers and toes, they could even regrow more complex parts like limbs and organs. It would take some time, but Vol'jin would be whole again after chopping off his own thumb. After doing so, another Loa appeared to Vol'jin, one that seemed younger than the others and somehow familiar. The vision of Vol'jin fighting Khayllysl played out before them, and the Loa asked Vol'jin why he was fighting one of their own, his childhood friend no less. Vol'jin looked down at his stump, and it said it all. He would kill anyone who's a threat to the future of the Darkspears. It doesn't matter who it was, the tribe is everything, its future is everything, and the Loa agreed. Vol'jin did not cut off the thumb to save his life, he did it to save his future. The Darkspears must be fierce, true and endure. It will never be easy, but it's the only way. For passing the final trial, Vol'jin was granted the ability to communicate with the Loa. They would not always do what he would ask of them, but they would give him a fair hearing. He was now a shadow hunter, a master of voodoo magic with the Loa at his side. As they emerged from First Home, Khayllysl knew that he would become a great witch doctor. And who knew, perhaps these visions were only possibilities. Perhaps the visions that the Loa granted them were not set in stone. They were not pieces on a board, and perhaps they did not have to fight each other. As they left First Home behind, the visions granted to them faded away. Only impressions and a few words remained. Endure, true and fierce. To Vol'jin and Khayllysl, it felt like they were in there for a week, while in truth it was actually for 3 months, and in that time the visions of Sen'jin had come true. Warchief Thrall had taken his people west to the ancient lands of Kalimdor, and on their journey a sudden fierce storm forced them to seek shelter in the cove of a nearby remote island. It was there that they met with Sen'jin.
Warchief, I sense strange magic all around us.
There's the source of your magic. Someone is watching us.
It is you. I saw your arrival in a vision, especially you, the seer. Or is it just my old mind playing tricks on me?
Looks like this troll's been on the island a little too long. We're real enough, old one. My name is Thrall.
I be Sen'jin, leader of the trolls. This island used to be ours alone, but no more. You and your friends must be careful. The humans established an outpost on this island some time ago.
Humans?
Yes, they hound us day and night. Their patrols be all over the place. Not be long till they find you too.
Well, I'd rather find them first. We can't risk their patrols alerting the outpost about us. Loktar, my brothers. We're moving out.
Good luck, my friend. I got important matters to tend to, but I be seeing you soon.
While Thrall and the orcs teamed up with the trolls to take care of the humans, another threat appeared.
For the horde! Watch your backs! This battle's not over yet.
The fish creatures have come to take us away.
Your meddling magics will no longer interfere with our plans, Little Dweller.
I wonder what these strange fish creatures want with us.
The Murlocs used to be peaceful, but lately they've been catching us and using us for sacrifices.
Sacrifices? To what?
A long time ago, they started worshipping some witch. They say she lives under the ocean, and if they don't make the sacrifices, she'll destroy this island.
Well, someone should have told them that orcs don't scare that easily. Now, let's get out of here.
Warchief, Sen'jin was just taken away by the fish creatures. I tried to stop them, but there were too many. They said he is to be sacrificed to their witch.
Then we have no time to lose. Sen'jin must be freed.
Warchief, I sense a protective shield around the sorcerer. I believe these 3 fish creatures are helping maintain it. Pathetic fools. They will not stop us from receiving what has been promised. Sen'jin, don't despair. You'll soon be joining him.
The vision told me you would lead my people off this island. You don't have much time, young one. Go.
But you and your people are coming with us.
It be too late. I'm already gone.
Those of you who wish to follow me will face many dangers. It will not be easy. But if you wish to join us, you are welcome.
Yeah, man. Pretty soon there'll be nothing left here anyway. We come with you.
They're captured by Murlocs, and even though Thrall does his very best to save him, Sen'jin is sacrificed to the sea witch that the Murlocs worship. It was around this time that Vol'jin and Zelazane reappeared after being gone for months. The news of his father's death did not come as a complete surprise, and Vol'jin took charge of the evacuation as well as his people. In honor of Sen'jin, Thrall offered the trolls a spot in his new horde, which they accepted, and while a big portion of the trolls followed Thrall on his journey, Vol'jin and some of the tribe, they weathered the sea witch's anger, gathered all the supplies that they could, and they took it with them to join their brethren around a year later in the new orc nation of Durotar. In that time, Thrall fulfilled his destiny, teamed up with several other factions, amongst them Jaina and the humans, and all of them took on the mighty Archimand and the Burning Legion. After the destruction of the World Tree, after saving the world, Jaina and Thrall decided to do their best to keep some sort of peace going. For that purpose, Jaina built up Fedamore, while Thrall and his people, they worked on building Orgrimmar. Vol'jin and his Darkspear trolls, they made a home on the Echo Isles, but not everyone was ready to leave the past behind and work towards peace. During a campaign in Warcraft 3, we find out that Admiral Dalen Proudmoore, Jaina's father, he showed up to look for his daughter, while also striking out at the trolls on the Echo Isles. Rexxar, together with Chen Stormstout and the troll Rokan, they're sent by Thrall to warn Vol'jin and help evacuate his people off the Isles to the mainland, where it would be much easier for the Horde to protect them.
I be Vol'jin, leader of the Darkspear Tribe. It be good that the Warchief send you when he did, man. Our villages already be under attack by the human fleet. We got no time to waste. Even now, the humans' battleships be blasting away at our coastal villages.
You have little chance of defeating such a force on your own, Vol'jin. You should evacuate your tribe to the mainland and unite with the Warchief's forces.
Though I hate to be abandoning our homes, your plan be a wise one. However, we got to destroy those battleships before the evacuation can begin. Oh, these wily ones will serve you well, man. Their talent for destruction be mighty.
We have no flying mounts, Vol'jin. We'll be useless on land.
Oh, won't be a problem, man. Now, this be feeling a bit strange.
After destroying some ships and lighting some fires, Rexxar fulfills his mission and the trolls are saved, but the mission isn't over quite yet. Thrall wants answers. He wants to know why Jaina would strike out like that, but they soon found out that it wasn't Jaina, but her father that was doing this. She could not stand behind her father's choices of holding on to old hatreds, so she did nothing as Rexxar and the Horde, they assaulted Fedamore and they took her father's life. With that, the peace between Fedamore and Orgrimmar endured, yet the troubles for the Darkspear Tribe were not over yet. Zelazane, Vol'jin's longtime friend, he'd gone mad with power and he betrayed their tribe. With the use of dark voodoo, he robbed most of the Darkspear trolls of their free will, forcing them to obey him. Vol'jin feared that all of his people would fall to Zelazane's sorcery, so he ordered the tribe to abandon the Echo Isles and move to the fishing village called Sen'jin on the coast of Durotar. During classic World of Warcraft, adventurers were often sent out to strike at Zelazane and his forces to win back the trolls' first home on Kalimdor, but Zelazane, he was not so easily defeated. He had powerful magic under his command, and even if adventurers were able to chop off his head and bring it back to the quest giver, after a few days the magic would wear off, revealing it to be nothing more than painted rocks, bunches of coconuts, or the head of an enslaved Darkspear troll. The true enemy was still out there, the true Zelazane, and he was doing his very best to lure more of the Darkspear Tribe to enslave them into his army, and he wouldn't be truly taken care of until a few years later. Up to that moment, Vol'jin didn't do a lot for the storyline. He was present within Thrall's fortress in Orgrimmar to offer advice to the Warchief. He showed up during Brewfest to tap the keg, and he sent members of the Horde on a mission which would aid them in their assault upon Zul'Gurub and Hakar. He was also present during the battle for Undercity during Wrath of the Lich King, but he didn't actually fight in the city. Instead, they kept him outside to point members of the Horde towards Thrall and Sylvanas, and they were actually doing the fighting in the city. The Shadow Hunter and leader of the Darkspear Tribe, he didn't see a lot of time in the spotlight, but that would soon all change as the time had come for the Darkspear Tribe to reclaim the Echo Isles and take the battle to Vol'jin's old friend Zelazane.
Zalazane's time has come. The Dark Spear will have a proper home again. Be ready. You came, wise sister. The Dark Spear be grateful.
Hello, ma. Of course. Son of Sen'jin. Zentabra always keep her word.
Vol'jin gained the aid of powerful trolls like Zentabra. She was ashamed of not being able to stop Zelazane, and she ignored Vol'jin's call when he told them to retreat from the Isles. She received a vision from the ancient raptor Loa called Gonk, who showed her that Zelazane, he had his mindless slaves kill the beast on the Isles, and Gonk wanted her to help them. After being transported to the Emerald Dream, Zentabra and some of the other witch doctors with her, they trained in the ways of the druids, and now with Vol'jin showing up again, the time had come to put their skills to use.
The time has come. Warriors of the Darkspear, make ready. The Loa walk with us. Are you ready, Vanira, Zentabra?
The elements. They be walking with us too.
As do the beast of these isles.
Then we go. First to Bwansamdi. If we're gonna win this, we need his mojo on our side.
Who be stirring up me bones? Tim's one Sunday's charges, and not to be touched.
I be Vol'jin, son of Sen'jin. Here to ask your aid, O great Bwansamdi.
I know who you are, Shadowhunter, and I know what you want. But what makes you think I'm gonna help you? Ain't a wise thing calling me from the other side.
I ain't asking for me alone, Great Spirit, but on behalf of the Darkspear Tribe, on behalf of me people.
Darkspear. It's been long time since I heard the drums. Since I drank the ritual offerings, I be watching over your death, and for nothing. Why have the Darkspear forsaken Bwansamdi? Huh?
We were driven away, Great Spirit. Hexmaster Zelazane took the Isles from us, drove us mad, made us fight one another. The only trolls left in the Echo Isles are his mindless voodoo slaves.
Zelazane.
Aid us, Bwansamdi. Help us regain our home. Return the Darkspear to the Isles and hear your drums again. Drink your ritual offerings once more. This as son of Sen'jin, I swear.
Time to see how bad you want this, Shadowhunter. Time to see if you be worthy.
After passing Bwansamdi's trial, Vol'jin and his troops gained his support, and it's a good thing too, since Zelazane was no pushover. He lured Vol'jin into a trap, turned his fellow trolls against him, and he even raised a shield which no living being could pass. It's a good thing that Bwansamdi is no living being though.
No matter. I can't be touched. No living thing can make its way through this barrier. The Echo Isles be Zalazane's to rule, Shadowhunter, now and forever! Who that be?
Zelazane! What you thinking taking that which be mine? The Darkspear dead are my domain, sorcerer. And now, you're gonna be one of them!
No, no, no!
Fitting end for so foul a troll. Bwansamdi, you have my thanks, and that of all the Darkspear. We will continue to honor you as is proper.
It'll be good to hear the Darkspear drums once more. You take care now, son of Sen'jin. Bwansamdi will be waiting for you on the other side.
Time to return to the village. Time to rebuild our home. The Darkspear's home. Will you be staying with us, wise Zentabra?
Me fate be entwined with yours now, Vol'jin. For good or for ill. I be staying.
One Samdi himself struck down Zelazane, and the Echo Isles after around 6 years belonged to the Darkspear Trolls once again. Several of the visions shown by the Loa during his trials to become a Shadow Hunter, they've come true, and sadly, the one that showed Cairn fighting Garrosh would soon become a reality. Just before the Cataclysm, the world of Azeroth cried out in pain, and Thrall knew he had to go to Outland to learn from the elements there and find out what is going on. He decided to make Garrosh leader of the Horde while he was away, despite people like Cairn and even Garrosh himself telling Thrall that this was a very bad idea. The Orc Shaman had made his choice though. He left the Horde behind to save the world, while telling Garrosh that he would not have to do it alone. He had advisors like Eitrigg and Vol'jin at his side, but right at the start, things don't seem to go that smooth between Garrosh and Vol'jin. In-game, we saw a conversation about Thrall leaving the Horde behind, and Vol'jin mentioned that the people were very happy about the success in Northrend. Garrosh quickly said, "Our success? Troll, you played no part in the Horde's victories in Northrend. While I led the warriors against the Lich King, you merely took back a few scattered isles." "Watch yourself, young one. You don't." Eitrigg told them to hold their tongues and that there were larger issues at stake, but this small conversation was a hint of things to come. The Twilight Hammer cult attacked a meeting of druids, both Tauren and Night Elves, and word of this attack reached Cairn, chieftain of the Tauren. They didn't know that the attack was planned by the Twilight Hammer. They thought that the attack was an order of Garrosh. So Cairn confronted the Warchief, and this led to them entering the arena and fight in Mak'gora, a duel to the death for leadership of the Horde.
Garrosh, you are not fit to rule the Horde.
As was tradition, both fighters had their weapons blessed by a shaman, and Garrosh foolishly agreed to have Megafa Grimtoad bless Gorhal. Megafa had waited for an opportunity to betray Cairn, and she used Garrosh like a puppet. She poisoned his weapon Gorhal without his knowledge, and Cairn died betrayed in the arena. After this, Megafa quickly moved to take Thunderbluff, while Cairn's son Bane was luckily warned and able to leave the city. Garrosh was celebrating his victory during all of this, oblivious to how he was used, until Eitrigg confronted him and showed him the truth. People like Eitrigg and Vol'jin were very suspicious about how the fight went down. Cairn was actually winning the duel until Garrosh hit him only once, and the poison did the rest. Megafa had taken what was most precious to Garrosh, his honor, and she was foolish enough to believe that the Warchief would be happy with her actions. He gladly left her to her fate, while Bane regrouped. Now Bane, he didn't know who to trust at this point, right? He didn't know if Garrosh was working together with Megafa, and although they expected the Darkspear to be loyal, there were simply not that many Darkspear trolls. They needed help though to reclaim their city, so instead of turning to the Horde, they turned towards Jaina Proudmoore, who helped Bane by giving him some of her own finances, which they used to buy supplies that they needed to retake the city and banish Megafa and all those who allied with her. Bane could have chosen to challenge Garrosh to Mak'gora after the events, but he decided that that was not the best path for his people. He was not going to waste his energy on revenge when they could use it to rebuild, and Garrosh promised Bane the full protection and support of the Hordes. The Cataclysm hit the world of Azeroth in full, and even though Garrosh and Bane were able to shake hands for the good of the Horde, things between Vol'jin and Garrosh did not go so smooth.
Exiled years ago from their lands in Stranglethorn Vale, the Darkspear Trolls attempted to make a new life for themselves amongst the disparate races of the Horde. Under the leadership of the noble Warchief Thrall, Vol'jin and his savage trolls had at last found the honor and purpose they had been searching for. But now, under the rule of the headstrong Garrosh Hellscream, the trolls fear that the Horde could tear itself apart. Vol'jin knows that whatever threats loom ahead, whether they be from within the Horde or from without, it is cunning trolls like you who will fight to preserve the honor of the Horde.
As new troll players enter the game, they're eventually sent to talk to Vol'jin, and he explains what went down between him and the new Warchief.
I have something to show you. It'd be easier to understand if you see it yourself.
Don't talk back to me, troll. You know who was left in charge here. Haven't you stopped to ask yourself why Thrall chose me instead of you?
There be no question why, Garrosh. He gave you the title because you be Grom's son. And because the people be wanting a war hero, I think you be more like your father than you thought. Even without the demon blood.
You are lucky that I don't gut you right here, whelp. You are foolish to think you can speak to your Warchief in such ways.
You'll be no Warchief of mine. You'll not earn my respect, and I'll not be seeing the Horde destroyed by your foolish thirst for war.
And what exactly do you think you're going to do about it? Your threats are hollow. Go slink away with the rest of your kind to the slums. I will endure your filth in my throne room no longer!
I know exactly what I'll be doing about it, son of Hellscream. I'll watch and wait as your people slowly become aware of your ineptitude. I'll laugh as they grow to despise you, as I do. And when that time comes, that your failure is complete and your power is meaningless, I will be there to end your rule, swiftly and silently. You will spend your reign glancing over your shoulder and fearing the shadows. For when the time comes and your blood be slowly draining out, you will know exactly who fired the arrow that pierced your black heart.
You have sealed your fate, troll.
And you yours, Warchief.
The Darkspear never gonna
The
give up.
Darkspear are here because I led them here. Orgrimmar be no home, long as it be under Hellscream's hand. Still I fear I was letting my temper drive me to being rash. Thrall devoted himself to making the Horde what it is, so I've no eagerness to be leaving it on a whim. This will be needing much more thought.
Vol'jin has no love for Garrosh. He threatens his warchief and he leads his people out of Orgrimmar, just as the visions had shown him. Perhaps his temper had driven him to be rash though, and leaving the Horde is not a decision to be made on a whim. As Vol'jin ponders the situation, we continue our questing until we'll eventually call to war and get vengeance for Sen'jin. The sea witch that ordered the Murlocs to sacrifice Vol'jin's father drove them out of their isles has returned. It turns out that it wasn't a sea witch at all, it was actually a naga, something that can be killed. So with Vol'jin leading the charge, we confront Jarjira.
You were foolish to come here, Sea Witch. You escaped our vengeance once, but the Darkspear Tribe will not abide your trespassing again.
You are weak, Vol'jin, like your father was weak. Today, I will finish what I started long ago. The Darkspear shall be wiped from existence!
Take care of our spirits. We be handling Jarjira.
You were a fool to touch my fires! When Vol'jin falls, you know who dies next.
I'll get the fires this time!
The spirits be restless.
Not so fast!
Sonny! No! No!
It be done. Our ancient enemy is defeated. I've been waiting a long time for a chance to avenge my father. A great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. I must be returning to Darkspear Hold. Please, meet me there once Vanera is done with her healing of the boy.
I'm afraid there's nothing I can do for our brother. Her power tore away at his soul.
Zuni is dead, and despite Vol'jin thinking that the troll can be healed, the Sea Witch's power tore away at his soul and there's no saving him. His body will be recovered for a proper farewell as we meet up with Vol'jin, who uses the power unleashed when the Sea Witch died to communicate with Thrall from a long distance and discuss the current situation of the Horde.
I've no love for Garrosh, that much is sure. But leaving the Horde is not a decision I be taking lightly. There's only one with the answers I seek. You can stay and watch if you like.
Vol'jin, it's good to see you, brother.
Thrall. I'm glad you be well. There were rumors otherwise.
Indeed, someone did try to kill me, but that is not my greatest concern at this moment. The world itself calls for my aid.
I must beg your counsel, my friend. I can't be standing by Garrosh while he be turning our people against each other for the sake of war. My respect for you does not extend to this new horde. I'm thinking of leading my people away.
Vol'jin, I chose Garrosh because he has the strength to lead our people in these trying times. For all my supposed wisdom, there have been moments that I've barely been able to hold the horde together. The Wrathgate and Undercity displayed that clearly enough. The horde cries for a hero of old. An orc of true blood that will bow to no human and bear no betrayal. A warrior that will make our people proud again. Garrosh can be that hero. I did not make this decision lightly, Vol'jin. I know our alliances will suffer for it. I know the Horde will be irreversibly changed. But I made this choice with confidence that Garrosh is exactly what the Horde needs. I'm trusting you and the other leaders not to let this divide our people. You are stronger than that.
I understand, brother. I will think on this and be troubling you no further. You have a world to be saving.
Thramka, old friend.
Ye be strong and proud, young blood. The Darkspear will be honored to have you fight beside him. These be dark times, but our people will be staying with the Horde for the good of all. Thrall's words be true. They always be. The Horde is much more than just a few old, stubborn leaders and a handful of heroes from Northrend. The people be crying Garrosh's name, at least for now. Still, I be hoping Thrall will return to us one day. The future right now be looking very grim and very bloody.
Vol'jin and the Darkspear Tribe will stay with the Horde, at least for now, and adventurers, they're sent away to join the many battles fought across the world in the wake of the Cataclysm. In the meantime, the Zandalari, led by King Rastakhan and Prophet Zul, they've come to unite the trolls into a single mighty empire. With the aid of the Zandalari, the fallen capitals of the Gurubashi and the Mari nations, Zul'Gurub and Zulaman respectively, they're already rebuilding, they're replenishing their forces for a bloody campaign to expand their territories. All tribes were invited to join them, invited to the meeting, including the Darkspear Tribe.
Our kind faces extinction. Trolls once ruled the mightiest empire this world has ever seen. Yet look at you now. Zuldrak has already fallen to the scourge. Its gods consumed as death descended on its people. Zul'Farrak, once the shining jewel of Tanaris, is now nothing but a wasteland. Divided, you are weak. But we Zandalari can offer you a future undreamed of. Jinto of the Gurubashi, would you see the greatness of Zul'Gurub restored? Join us, and the Zandalari will make it so. Dakara of the Amani, summon your followers to Zulaman. Together, we will make Zul'Jin's murderers weep for mercy. Brothers, hear us now! We Zandalari have returned to reclaim the former glory of our people. To see trolls retake the lands that are rightfully ours. And to crush any foolish enough to stand in our way. From the wreckage of the Cataclysm, the Troll Empire will rise again! Vol'jin of the Darkspear, you would turn your back on your own people?
The Horde is my people. If it be war you bring, then I stand against you.
So be it. Darkspear.
Vol'jin will not join the other tribes in this war, and he goes around warning both the Alliance and the Horde. Now, to understand the next part in the story better, I think it's a good idea to take a step back and talk a little bit about the troll history. The earliest known troll tribe is called the Zandalari. There were different levels within their tribe. You had the poor, the rich, the powerful, the intelligent. There was a caste system in place, and over time those castes, they evolved into separate breed of trolls. Most of the Zandalari were into acquiring knowledge and preserving their history, but a significant portion wanted to conquer the world. They left the Zandalari tribe behind to create their own tribes, and the Zandalari were perfectly fine with that. They saw it as children trying out a youthful rebellion who would eventually come back to beg for the Zandalari approval. But the trolls, they did not return. Instead, two distinct troll empires emerged. You had the Amani and the Gurubashi tribes. The Amani were forest trolls, whereas the Gurubashi were jungle trolls. Now, over time, from these two massive tribes, a lot of smaller tribes would emerge. For example, the Darkspear Tribe, they fall under the jungle troll category. There are more categories though. You have the ice trolls, the sand trolls, the dark trolls that eventually evolved into night elves, who became high elves, who become blood elves. But that's a whole different story though. Let's focus on this right now. Now, the history of the Gurubashi is that they started to worship Hakkar the Soul Flayer, and at first, the Zandalari were very happy for the Gurubashi, that they were doing very well and that they were expanding their territory. But they soon figured out that Hakkar was not a being to ally yourself with, so action had to be taken. The Zandalari moved out, the avatar of Hakkar was destroyed, and the priests that worshipped him, the Atalai and the Hakkari, they were hunted to near extinction. After their defeat, the different jungle troll tribes started to fight amongst each other, and it was around this time that the Darkspear Tribe, they split up from the Gurubashi Empire and they moved away. Now, a few survivors of the Atalai and the Hakkari, they escaped into the Swamp of Sorrows, where they built the temple of Atal Hakkar, and they tried to summon Hakkar once more. The green dragon aspect Ysera found out about their plans, and she smashed their temple, which is why we now call it the Sunken Temple. They left some green dragons behind to guard the place, but there was no need. Since Hakkar could not be summoned within the Sunken Temple, he can only be summoned within their ancient capital of the Gurubashi Empire, namely Zul'Gurub. The remaining Atalai and Hakkari, they sent a number of their most skilled priests to Zul'Gurub. They resummoned Hakkar, and under the leadership of Jindo, they managed to enslave 5 high priests of the trolls' primal gods, forcing them to channel their power into Hakkar. This is why heroes of the Alliance and Horde were called to go into Zul'Gurub to team up with the Zandalari, and we brought the enslaved priests as well as the Soul Flayer down. Now, for the Amani, things didn't go great either. First, there were the Troll Wars, where the Amani fought with the High Elves, who had built their city of Khayllysl upon sacred troll grounds. The Amani Empire was big and powerful, and despite having the powers of the Sunwell at their side, the High Elves clearly needed help. They teamed up with the humans led by Thoradin of Arafor, and together they shattered the Amani Empire, ending the Troll Wars. Some of the Forest Trolls decided to move away from Khayllysl for their own safety, but the Amani tribe, they sneered at such cowardice. They fought on until many years later, Vol'jin teamed up with the Horde during their first invasion of Azeroth. He believed that together with the Horde, they would be able to finally claim their vengeance upon the Elves, but quite the opposite happened. The Alliance of Lordaeron was formed, and they were able to defeat the Horde, to which Vol'jin was captured. They cut out his eye, he cut off his own arm to escape, to which he fled to Zul'Aman, where they decided to seal some of the essences of their mighty troll animal gods in their strongest of champions, and they kept fighting with their ancient enemy. This enemy started to call themselves Blood Elves, in honor of those who had fallen to Arthas and the Scourge, and Zul'jin's crusade against the Elves would be stopped by a very unexpected development. The Horde, now under the leadership of Thrall, they had accepted the Blood Elves within their ranks, and now Vol'jin was done with all of them.
I spit on the Horde!
He planned to take down everyone, humans, elves, orcs, Alliance and Horde, all alike, and of course, we couldn't let this happen. Heroes were sent in to take care of the Amani, but as we saw in the trailer, there are still enough trolls left to put up a fight, especially when they unite under one banner, especially under the leadership of the Zandalari. The world had to unite against these threats, so Vol'jin, he sent out his emissary Bwemba to both the Alliance and the Horde to warn them about what's going on within the jungle of Stranglethorn. We join Bwemba as she's trying to find and help Vol'jin, who's already gone ahead to warn the people, as well as give a warning of our own. Throughout the questline, we encounter several of the bosses within Zul'Gurub who've been going around Stranglethorn causing all kinds of trouble with snakes and zombies and panthers, until we finally encounter Vol'jin in Booty Bay. We have to go into the old city of Zul'Gurub. We have to take down the trolls inside until we face off against Jindo himself.
Now, have a taste of Jindo's true power! Your deceit is unforgivable, Jindo. You spit in the face of a god.
Now known as Jindo the Godbreaker, he has not only managed to come back from the dead, he has also chained Hakkar the Soulflayer, forcing him to give up his power. There are a lot of great and primitive gods in the world, but Hakkar is amongst the darkest of them all, and you don't mess with such a god. We break the chains, we liberate Hakkar, and we let him take care of the rest.
You overstepped your bounds, Jindo. You toy with powers that are beyond you. Have you forgotten who I am? Have you forgotten what I can do? Be freed, insects. I will deal with you another time.
Hakkar says that he will deal with us another day, and for now, we must turn our attention to Zul'Aman and the Amani tribe. There we find Vol'jin once again. Now he's recruiting the help of Halduran Brightwing and his Farstrider Rangers. Halduran has battled with the Amani before. He was the one who had captured their previous leader Zul'jin, and now under the guidance of the Zandalari, the Amani Empire is trying to make a return with their favorite champion Dakara now leading them. To aid them with their mission, Halduran personally requested the aid of Risa Windrunner and her Silver Covenant. Now Lord Famar Faran is not happy about this. He sends a messenger demanding an explanation as to why this exile is in their lands. Halduran will hear none of it. His own range of forces are stretched too thin and they need their help and experience. He tells the messenger to go back to Lord Famar, inform him of his plans, as Vol'jin explains what exactly they're facing. King Rastakhan is planning to unite the troll tribes under the Zandalari banner, so we have to go into Zul'Aman and stop them from uniting. With the help of Vol'jin, we ring the gong, we open the gates, we take down their champions, who've enslaved the powers of their animal gods again, we rescue some of our scouts, until eventually we take out Dakara and we put a stop to the Zandalari plans.
Maybe me fall, but the Amani Empire never going to die.
We've put a stop to the rise of the Zandalari, at least for the moment. Vol'jin and the trolls, they enjoy the celebration, but the future for the Shadow Hunter would take a turn not even the Loa were able to predict. The cataclysm was over, the world was saved, and the aspects declared that now the dawning of the Age of Mortals has begun. Warchief Garrosh Hellscream decided that the time had come for the Horde to claim what was theirs. The lust for war was burning in his heart, and the leaders of the Horde, including Vol'jin, were summoned to Garrosh's side. He informed them of his plans. First they'd take out Northwatch Hold, then Fedamore would fall, and then they would conquer all of Kalimdor. Of course, the other leaders had no desire to start a war which would lead to more bloodshed. They just dealt with the cataclysm. Perhaps they would be able to take Fedamore and even Kalimdor as a whole, but places like Quel'Thalas and Undercity would be vulnerable and very hard to defend at the retribution that would surely follow. Garrosh would hear none of it. He would no longer listen to the advisors appointed to him, and instead he listened to those only loyal to him, like the Blackrock orc Melkorok. The leaders were the blades of the Horde, and he as their Warchief was their wielder. They would do as he told them to do, or they'd risk the might of the Horde turning against their people. So Bane, Vol'jin, Sylvanas Gallywix and Lor'Famar, they did as they were told, and they prepared their people for war. What they didn't understand at that time was that Garrosh had changed. During the cataclysm, he had thrown an officer, Kromgar, off a cliff for using dishonestful tactics.
Honor, Kromgar. No matter how dire the battle, never forsake it. Overlord Kromgar, you have disgraced the Horde. You have brought shame to us as a people. By my right as Warchief, I hereby relieve you of duty.
You are dismissed!
Now Garrosh didn't care about that. He had his shamans enslave the elements, use molten giants to take down Northwatch holds, and this was a clear violation against the Earth Mother herself, something forbidden by the Earthen Ring in fear of causing another cataclysm. Bane confronted Garrosh about this, asked him what he was thinking, but again, Garrosh didn't listen. This act pushed Bane into sending one of his runners to Fedamore to warn Jaina Proudmoore that the Horde was on the march. It didn't matter in the long run though, since Garrosh actually wanted Fedamore to prepare his defenses and get ready for them. He had his forces purposely wait at Northwatch Hold, the desire for battle burning in their veins, and nobody understood what Garrosh was thinking. Why did he give Jaina the opportunity to prepare? Why make a victory so much harder? The answer finally became clear when after days of waiting, they marched upon Fedamore. In that time, Jaina had been able to gather the finest the Alliance had to offer. Even the Kirin Tor and the Blue Dragon Caligos saw the need of defense and they provided aid in the fight against the Hordes. Within the courtyard, Vol'jin, Garrosh and Bane fought with the Alliance forces as Khayllysl tried to use his ice magic to seal them in. Vol'jin saw what was happening. He warned Garrosh and Bane, to which Garrosh saw the time fit to call the retreat and unfold his plan. He was never planning to take Fedamore in an honorable battle. All he wanted was as many troops, as many powerful generals and leaders gathered, so that he could wipe them out with one single mana bomb.
We're gonna turn this place into a sinkhole!
Bane and Vol'jin were disgusted with Garrosh's actions, but the Warchief didn't care. He partied in Orgrimmar with the rest of his people who cheered his name, while a few of them could not believe what had happened. They did not join the celebration, instead they met up within a shady inn of Razor Hill. Bane was there, Vol'jin was there, and although they did not speak with each other, a single glance told them all that they needed to know. They knew that Garrosh's actions were wrong, that this was not the path the Horde was supposed to be on. Now Melkorok, he found out about people meeting at Razor Hill, speaking out against Garrosh, and he decided to do something. The inn was blown up by frag grenades, and word of this accident reached Vol'jin. He had no love for Garrosh, and even though Thrall was able to convince him to stay with the Horde, he knew that it was time to go back home to their islands and meditate. Communicate with the Loa to hear what they thought about the situation, but before the Shadowhunter could even leave, a canoe with a shaman approached him. The Alliance fleet was approaching for a counterattack. Jaina Proudmoore had survived the bombing of Fedamore and planned to flood Orgrimmar, and Garrosh released the Kraken against the Alliance fleet. In the end, Khayllysl and Thrall were able to convince Jaina not to go through with the flooding, and instead she used her power to save the Alliance fleet, ensuring Garrosh's defeat. But the Warchief wasn't done. Quite the opposite. He realized that he simply had to go bigger, more elementals, more Kraken, escalate this war and conquer the world for the Horde. Bane told Garrosh that he was loyal to the Horde, but he also warned him that there could never ever be another Fedamore. Vol'jin once again said very little at the situation. At this point in time, they simply couldn't speak out. The Darkspear lived very close to Orgrimmar, and to have the Horde turn on its own people, turn against the Darkspear, it would simply be suicide. As Bane took his braves home, Vol'jin did the same, and shortly afterwards, the mists around the land of Pandaria disappeared.
I received word that our southern fleet engaged an Alliance envoy. We chased the royal flagship until it ran aground.
Aground? Where?
Apparently they found a massive, uncharted landmass, shrouded by dense mists.
And you let the Alliance get there first! Redirect the invasion fleet! General, you and your best veterans will pave our way. Storm the shore and paint this new continent red!
A small group was sent out to Pandaria to scout the land, while Garrosh and the Horde prepared the full might of their forces. Champions of the Horde became familiar with the Pandaren, the land itself and the Sha that it contained. 2 months after setting first foot on Pandaria, the rest of our forces finally catch up to us, and the Warchief himself claims a piece of the land and calls it
Domination Point!
Vol'jin doesn't trust Garrosh though, and he shows up as well.
Vol'jin, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be on your island kissing frogs?
What are we doing here? You bring this war to another corner of Azeroth, and I wanna know why.
Your lack of vision is why your people are still primitives, and your lack of loyalty is why I did not summon the Darkspear for this campaign. Look around you, Vol'jin. This land is rich in resources. Wood, stone, Stone, iron, fuel, and people. A show of might on these shores will make the Pandaren think twice about joining the Alliance.
All this bloodshed make everyone think twice about joining the Horde.
This is the difference between me and you, Vol'jin. I won't let my people starve to death in the desert. I will stop at nothing. Nothing to ensure a proud and glorious future for the Orcs and anyone with the courage to stand with us. Wait here. There is something you can do, Troll, to demonstrate your value to the Horde. A mission in the heart of this continent.
I will go, but only as a witness for my people. Someone gotta keep you in check, Garrosh.
Vol'jin was told to go on a mission and investigate the connection between the Mogu and the Saurok, but more importantly, this was a test and an opportunity for Garrosh. If the troll agreed with their plans, then he would be allowed to live, but if not, they had permission to cut the traitors' throats.
This is the chamber we're looking for. The Warchief has learned there's a connection between the Mogu and these creatures. Troll, you know all about this. Voodoo. What can you find?
Voodoo. These Mogu. They're working wicked dark magic here. The Saurok, they're not born. They was created. Flesh-shaped and bent. This be the blackest of magics, man.
Yes! The power to shape flesh, to build warriors! This is what the Warchief wants!
Garrosh playing God, making monsters. This ain't what the Horde is about!
He knew you were a traitor! The Warchief will annihilate his enemies! Strength!
The Warchief shows his hand. This be what the Horde come to? Killing its own? We can't let this happen. Champions, I need ya. Go back to the Warchief. Tell him I'm dead. Stay close to him. Watch him. You and me, we'll move to take him out when the time is right. Others are like me. You gotta find them. Swear the blood oath with me. Keep your eyes wide open. It be done. We brothers in this until the end. I'm gonna disappear for a while. Don't forget about me.
We take Vol'jin's blood oath and pretend that he's dead, while in reality he was actually found by his longtime friend Chen Stormstout and taken to the Shadowpen Monastery to recover. I've already done a detailed video about the events of Shadows of the Horde, but what you need to know about this novel is that Vol'jin was once again given the choice to join the Zandalari, as they too had made their way back to Pandaria to reconnect with their ancient Mogu allies and conquer the world. Last time, Vol'jin's answer was simple. The Horde was its people, yet times changed, and under Garrosh's leadership it seemed like the Horde was not as it used to be. In the end though, Vol'jin saw how shadow hunters of the past turned their back on the Zandalari, as the Zandalari concerned themselves more about riches instead of their own people and the Loa. He also realized that the Darkspear Tribe is his family. The Darkspear Tribe is a part of the Horde, which makes the Horde the family. Garrosh does not act out of the best interest for the Horde. He does what he wants to do, and Vol'jin cannot allow Garrosh to harm his family like that. That is not someone who he was, who he is, or who he wants to be, so after taking his time to recover, to learn a few monk skills delaying the Zandalari invasion of Pandaria. As we too dealt with the Zandalari and the Thunder King on the Isle of Thunder, Vol'jin makes a return to lead the Darkspear Rebellion. Meanwhile, Garrosh didn't sit still. He went around in an attempt to gather more power, more forces, and in the process pissing off not only the Alliance, but also the fellow leaders of the Horde. We joined Thrall as he liberated the Darkspear on the Echo Isles from the Kor'kron, as Garrosh had the Goblins search within the Veil of Eternal Blossoms for an artifact of great power, and they actually found something. They found the heart of the old god Y'Shaarj.
I only sleep.
Back at Orgrimmar, he and his Kor'kron have taken over the city, trolls are being held at gunpoint, Zayla and the Dragonmaw have allied with Garrosh, and the time for a revolution is now.
Walk with me. Vol'jin been seeing ya in just a moment. The Warchief still believes Vol'jin be dead, slain by his Kor'kron assassin in Khayllysl summit. Vol'jin survived, but he still remembered the sting of a Hellscream betrayal. Darkspear never die. When Vol'jin come back to us, I saw he was changed. The light of a revolution be burning in his eyes. Now look around you. The Darkspear Rebellion begins. Hellscream's worst nightmare. The spark becomes a flame. The flame becomes a fire. The fire an inferno. We gonna burn our way to the gates of Orgrimmar. But we gotta feed this war machine. Stone, wood, oil, meat. We be needing them in large supply. That's where we need you. Go speak to Vol'jin. Prepare yourself. From here on out, we be asking more of you than ever before.
Look at us three. Back to the sands of old Durotar. It'd be just like old times.
Not quite, old friend. Times have changed. The line between friend and foe is not so clear.
Vol'jin has plenty of people to fight Garrosh, but he needs supplies, and you are the one to bring it to him. But this does not sit well with Garrosh, and he sends Kor'kron after you.
They come! Hellscream think his own people gonna roll right over. Time to show this Warchief the fury of the Darkspear!
Kor'kron and mercenaries attack Sen'jin village, but they're no match for the combined might of Thrall, Chen, Vol'jin, Darkspear, and champions of the Hordes.
Hold! Let them run away. Hellscream will execute them as cowards if they go back. Sen'jin village is safe. Regroup! We press the advantage! Before the Warchief fortifies Razor Hill, we take it for the revolution and close off the road to the Barrens. Anyone who can still fight, come with me!
Wait, Vol'jin. Horde is spilling Horde blood. It's tearing me apart.
We need you, man.
I know. I trust you to lead the siege. I am needed elsewhere. I refuse to believe that all of my brethren support Garrosh. I am going to Orgrimmar, alone. Eitrigg, Saurfang, surely they are standing against Garrosh. I must find others.
You set one foot in Orgrimmar, Hellscream gonna bury a knife in your neck.
It's a risk I have to take. But if I am killed, please, watch over Agra and my boy.
I won't hear you say such things.
It has to be said, Vol'jin. If we don't make it through this, I want you to know you have always been my friend, my brother.
For the Horde.
For the Horde.
Darkspear, with me! We ride! No sleep till Orgrimmar!
The troops march upon Orgrimmar, but despite promising no sleep till they reach the city, the march comes to a stop at Razor Hill, where Vol'jin and Bane meet up.
It be done! Razor Hill is ours! The Warchief probably see the fires all the way from Gromash Horde.
Vol'jin, you're alive! It is true, then. An open rebellion against the Warchief.
Bane, We be needing your support. Razor Hill be but an outpost. The walls of Orgrimmar be fortified since the Cataclysm.
I must tread carefully. Many of my people are still within Orgrimmar.
Lor'themar be ready to strike once he finish with the Isle of Thunder, and the Banshee Queen need no excuse. But they both across the sea. Without your strength, we can't breach the city. I need Tauren arms.
We are preparing. I just need time to ensure the safety of my people. But Vol'jin... Garrosh has turned Orgrimmar into a fortress. You may need to seek out allies beyond the Horde.
Allies beyond the Horde, meaning that even the Alliance is invited to the party. After gathering resources, building up our troops, the siege of Orgrimmar could begin.
It thirsts. Bring it to the pools.
I have fought beside the Tauren, trolls, and others. You are nothing like them.
They are no longer part of my horde!
The world will hear of this. They will come for you.
Yes, I'm counting on it. The armies of the world will come for me. And within my fortress, they will face all the terrible creatures I have wrought. The boundless power I have mastered. And one by one, they will fall at my feet. Anyone who would rise against my new horde will be impaled upon the spires of Orgrimmar! You Pandaren tried to bury your hate and your anger. But such power cannot be contained. It must be unleashed!
A time will come when you will answer for your crimes.
I answer to no one! Burn in the fires of my hatred.
Garrosh dumps the heart in the sacred pools, causing a gigantic explosion throughout the Vale, while also empowering the heart. From the sea, we conquered Bladeface Bay, and we made our way to the gates.
Our casualties are too heavy.
Don't be foolish, Vol'jin! You have no siege weapons left. You cannot win this battle.
It no other way, man. We gotta stop Garrosh here and now. Else we'll be running the risk of our lives.
You may have defeated my war machine, but the gate still stands. You will not take Orgrimmar today.
Anudora!
What? Korkron! To the gates! Now!
At them, my sisters, for Kalimdor! Don't think we're here to save you, troll. We're here for Kalimdor. Get forces inside the gates while we distract the enemy.
What should we do next?
Bane, you and your warriors hold this junction. These heroes should forge ahead and flush the Warchief out of hiding.
What about you?
People be dying up above. The city is in chaos. I'm gonna finish it. Stop the bloodshed. I'll come back for ya.
Very well.
It's gonna be fine, Bane. We're gonna find Thor. Gonna kill the Warchief. Gonna avenge your father.
Earth Mother protect you, Vol'jin.
Darkspear never die.
The combined might of the Alliance and Horde were able to break down the gates, bring down Garrosh's forces, and even bring the Warchief, empowered by an old god, to his knees.
You disappoint me, Garrosh. You are not worthy of your father's legacy.
His punishment is not for you alone to decide.
I won't let you take him.
We have all suffered from his atrocities. My people, more than any other. Let him stand trial in Pandaria. There, we will mete out justice for all.
The Horde needs its true Warchief. Now, more than ever.
Yes, but it was you that held the Horde together during this madness. It was you that protected our honor. From this day forward, Vol'jin, if you lead, I will follow.
I am not worthy. But I will give my all for the Horde.
I will speak to your Warchief.
I speak for the Horde.
Very well. The Horde has committed heinous crimes, Vol'jin. But some among you fought against Garrosh's tyranny. For that, I am willing to end this bloodshed. But know this. If your Horde fails to uphold honor as Garrosh did, we will end you.
Vol'jin has been appointed the first non-orcish warchief in history, and Garrosh is put on trial. Now, Vol'jin's role during the trial and during the novel war crimes was not great, since it was Bane Bloodhoof who Vol'jin recommended to defend Garrosh. He did take the stand, and during the trial, Tron the Whisperwind, the accuser, showed the courtroom the events that played out between Vol'jin and Garrosh, the events that I already told you about. Bane, in his duty as defender, tried to show the courtroom that Vol'jin was not completely innocent. The conversation where Vol'jin threatened to pierce Garrosh's heart, he clearly threatened his own warchief, an act of treason. Now, regardless of the trial, regardless of what people might think about Garrosh and Vol'jin, in the end it didn't matter, since Garrosh escaped with the help of the Bronze Dragon Khayllysl, and this kicked off Warlords of Draenor. We stormed the Dark Portal in an attempt to stop the Iron Horde's invasion, and at first, the only influence that we saw of the new Warchief were his Shadow Hunters that showed up, as well as a cinematic where he congratulated us on our success.
Hero, our trust in you was not misplaced. You and the armies you command are now our greatest weapon against the Iron Horde. Lead us to victory, General.
It wasn't until near the end of the expansion, as we got ready to assault the Nan Jungle and Hellfire Citadel, that Vol'jin showed up to help. He sends players to the Iron Docks to recruit the Horde shipwrights, and that's about all Warchief Vol'jin has done so far. Now, time will tell what's in store for the Darkspear Shadowhunter, and although some rumors are floating around the internet about the next expansion, I'm not going to go into details during this video since I don't want to talk about spoilers and it's very hard to predict the future. I will say this though, during the novel Shadows of the Horde, Vol'jin has a vision in which he communicates with Bonsandi, Loa of the Dead. A growl rolled from Bonsandi's throat. We are so easily convinced to surrender, Vol'jin. I should be rejecting you. You be no true child of mine. But, Shadowhunter, know this. The battle you face be more terrible than any you have known before. You're gonna be wishing you had surrendered, for the burden your victory earns gonna be one that will grind you into dust. Vol'jin did choose the life of freedom and struggle, and on top of that, always remember,
Darkspear never die.
With that, we have come to the end of the story of Vol'jin. At least so far, I hope that Legion is going to give him a little bit more time in the spotlight and a little bit more story development. Ladies and gentlemen, I truly hope that you enjoyed it, since I had a lot of fun working on these videos. As always, subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time guys, see ya!